Hello, I'm Dango Rose. Welcome to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. The Mountaineer brings you the latest news of the Peak to Peak region, in print, online, through our podcast, social media, and special publications. Now, listen in to the latest news of the area with our local journalists.
Welcome back to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. I'm Cynthia Davis.
And I'm Art DeVitalis. Now for this week's news.
Our intro music was performed by Doug Armitage of Brightwood Music in Netherlands.
This episode is brought to you by Brightwood Music, Very Nice Brewing Company, the Mountain Man Outdoor Store, Hardt's Backhoe, and of course, the Mountaineer newspaper.
For our lead story today, we talked to Patrice Leblanc about a long-awaited musical with performers set to take the stage.
Hello, my name is Patrice Leblanc, and I am with the Belvedere Players.
You said this production is called Prohibition. Can you tell us where it's going to take place?
The performance will be in the gardens between the Opera House and the Teller House in Central City on Eureka Street. The date will be June 12th at 6 o'clock p.m. So Prohibition is in that era. It's at the late 20s to early 30s. It is primarily about a speakeasy, and it explores many different sides of the law, pro-prohibition, anti-prohibition. It also addresses the Great Depression that was happening at the time, so some of the struggles that people were going through. It also addresses some of the racial discrimination that was back in that era, but obviously is still present today. This play is a musical. It is a full 2-act musical. There are 19 songs in it, and some of them are big showstopper numbers. Some are small duets and a couple of solos. There's some love ballads in there.
Is this made up mostly of local thespians?
Yes, what we have done is taken many of the actors that we have worked with before from Central City. However, some of the cast is from the Denver area, so we have a combination of both the mountain and plain actors that we're using for the particular production.
So when did rehearsals start?
We had originally scheduled this for October of 2020, and then the pandemic happened. So what we have been doing is we have been actually rehearsing since last October. We were rehearsing in person until we had to go to Zoom rehearsals, and so we worked on Zoom for a while. Then in March we were able to return to in-person rehearsals. All our rehearsals were temperature checks and masks and social distance. So we were very careful to make sure that our cast was taken care of. And so it's been a long process to work on this, but we're ready to go.
Who wrote Prohibition and arranged the songs and such?
The Prohibition is written by myself and my husband, Ed Schoenrod. Funny story is that we had our first date in 2015. And on our very first date, we went to a place that you had to go through this phone booth, and upstairs it looked like this speakeasy, kind of this secret passageway. So we started actually writing the musical on our very first date. And our waitress was just so helpful. Her name was Corey. She was really excited about the musical as well when we were coming up with the idea. So one of our main characters is Corey. So we have been working on this musical for 6 years, and it's gone through tons of revisions and readings and a whole bunch of changes until now we've gotten this to this point. I need to note that we are presenting this and staging it as a workshop presentation, meaning that we are showing you our work and the cast is demonstrating what the show and the songs are about. It is a full production, but we are calling it a workshop because that's typically what you do with a musical when you first launch it.
Wow. Now, if I'm going to think of speakeasy music, I'm going to imagine something obviously with an upright piano, maybe some horns and such, and some bluesy music or songs that would kind of go along with that. Is this going to be set to a full orchestra? What can you say about the music itself?
We will have a 4-piece band that is doing Prohibition piano. It's going to be an electric one, but I'll be playing it. We have guitar, bass, and drums as well. The music primarily is flavor in the music of the late 20s, early 30s. So it's a lot of jazz, and it is a lot of blues. Some of the songs are signature musical theater songs that you would typically find in like a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical. So we tried to mix it up, but yeah, the flavor definitely is jazz and blues oriented.
And here's where to find out more on tickets as well.
You can call 303-421-2243 for tickets. Also, we are doing social media through the Belvedere Players on Facebook or L&M Productions on Facebook. And there is a Sign Up Genius link with that you can go and sign up for tickets. There's a limited seating. There is no cost for the tickets. We will be taking donations at the door, but reservations are required.
Thanks, Patrice, and we greatly anticipate this production that has been years in the making.
Thank you. We've got a wonderful cast and crew, so we're very excited about this.
To the news desk.
Hardt's Backhoe Service is your locally owned and operated excavating company working in the Peak to Peak region. They can take care of all your excavating needs, including septic installation, digging a new foundation, rock walls, construction, demolition, and much more. Now, they're scheduling summer and fall projects. Give them a call at 303-589-9354 or find them on Facebook at Hardt's Backhoe.
Free COVID tests are available at the Nederland Community Center every Thursday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. No appointment or ID is required.
Gilpin County has COVID-19 testing available at 100 Chase Street, the parking lot for the Z Casino, every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can sign up at primarybio.com/L/CDPHE. Please pre-register prior to arrival. All Coloradans are eligible to receive a vaccine, and doses are now widely available from a variety of providers. This includes most retail pharmacies and many primary care providers, with no appointment needed in Gilpin County. For more, visit comassvax.org/appointment/en/clinic/search.
Peak to Peak musicians and artists, we are looking for you. Would you like a feature story in the Mountaineer? We cover all news of the Peak to Peak, including businesses and artist profiles. We also offer features on our podcast, website, and social media. Right now, these are all completed through email with our journalist. When things open back up, it will be in person. We are your community newspaper. Interested? Email publisher 1977@gmail.com to get on the list for upcoming editions.
The Mountaineer has advertising packets that include print, social media, online, and podcast. Email mtnear@advertising@gmail.com for information on a marketing plan for all of your business needs.
The Levitt Street Market is now open in Central City every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The market has several vendors offering fresh produce, pottery, jams, and jellies, JKQ barbecue, and more. Stop by Central City to check it out.
And now Dango Rose talks with Eric Kean of the Main Stage Brewing Company in Lyons.
All right, this is Dango Rose with the Everybody's Listening podcast. My guest today is Eric Kean of the Main Stage Brewing Company down in Lyons. How's it going, Eric?
It's going great. Thanks for having me. Thanks for doing the podcast. Big fan.
You're so welcome, man. We hooked up a little while ago to do some kind of radio live stream type stuff at the beginning of the pandemic era for Left Hand Brewing. And since that time, it sounds like you've gone off on your own and are doing some amazing things for the local community down in Lionstown.
Yeah, we did those Stream for a Cause shows for Left Hand back in, and that must have been March, I guess. That was right when it started. And then I did what everyone does during the pandemic. I got bored and got too creative and started a business because that's the thing to do these days.
That sounds pretty cool. I know a lot of people who've done a lot of different things during the pandemic, and I can't say that everybody just decided to start a business. You did so with your friend too, right? It's a co-venture, if you will.
Yeah, so Main Stage is myself and Sam Scrooby, who's been my good friend since 2008, something like that. We met while we were in college at CU together and started doing beer, music, partying together. And he worked at Upslope for the last 10 or 11 years. So we decided to fire off, build a business together, and have some fun with it.
Right on. And it sounds like a big part of the vision is supporting our Colorado music scene. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the name Main Stage comes from both, us wanting to make sure this is a place where people can come together and express themselves, but also from the fact that I just plain love music. I did not start a brewery so that we could work super hard. I started a brewery so that we could have a ton of fun. And my version of that is as much live music as we can possibly handle.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's starting already, right? Was your first show this past weekend?
No, we opened this past weekend without music. There's only so many things you can plan at one time. We got open, and then this Friday, we're doing our good friend Kingdom Jasmine from Boulder. He's going to be the first person on our tiny little stage to play some music for this crowd. So I just can't wait for that. And then we got a stacked lineup for the next couple of weeks. Some stuff we've already announced, more stuff we haven't. So it should be super cool.
You got Johnny Miller and Benny Burrell Galloway coming in. Is that right?
Yeah, I actually saw Burl this morning. He was walking by and he was just like, oh yeah, this is going to be so cool. So Friday night we're doing Kingdom Jasmine here, solo acoustic. And then Saturday is Johnny Miller from the Lonesome Days. And the one and only Burl is coming down to play some tunes. They're going to trade off, play with each other a little bit, do the songwriter jamming, having a good time kind of thing. Sunday we're doing our good friends Evan Reeves and Helen have a project called Heaven. And Danny Schaefer is going to sit in with them and play some music. They're just going to kind of do songwriter in the round kind of thing. And then Monday, Eben Grace and Joe Mazza are going to come out and play some Americana, have a good time, drink some beers, eat some pizza, enjoy Colorado and music and beer. That's all there is to it.
It kind of sounds like some of the folk Americana songwriter scene in Colorado and the bluegrass world all coming like you'd expect it to in Lyons, right down the street from Planet Bluegrass, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, well, that scene is just so incredibly strong in Colorado. It's unbelievable in Lyons. I mean, there are some absolute monster musicians in Lyons, and then the surrounding area too. I mean, everywhere from Jamestown, Ned, Allen's Park, some folks coming down from Estes pretty soon. We've just got such a great music scene. But I mean, on that note, we're doing a lot of that to start with because that's where I came from. I was at Planet Bluegrass for a while, but I mean, I got hit up yesterday by couple of amazing people here at Lyons who were like, man, you got to host a blues jam night. We got to get some stuff plugged in. We got to make some noise. And I'm all about that. So, we're starting out, a little more on the mellow side, but we're definitely going to turn it up this summer. We're going to have some fun, make some noise.
It sounds good. And so for the summer, are you guys doing music outside?
Yeah, so we're doing music outside pretty much as long as we possibly can. So I'm going to try and push it into October, November. We'll see what the weather holds up for, but yeah, as many nights as we can do outside, and then we have an indoor space. So, if it's raining, we'll just go inside. We're not stopping the show. That's just silly.
And how many nights a week are you guys looking to do music down there?
It's still, I guess, our full first week right now. So we're figuring it out.
Yeah.
But our tentative plans is to do music something like 3 nights a week, having shows or something curated going on. And then we're playing around with some ideas around either a blues jam or a bluegrass pick, a space for people to come and just play, get to know each other, and kind of be like one of those spots that can be the foundation of a scene, somewhere people can come, build a band, make some friends, start playing, get better at their craft. We really want to support that as much as we can too, because, as much as we rely on great bands, they need a place to grow. And we want to be that, every week, somewhere people can come and hear stuff.
Yeah, so that might look like songwriter in the round sessions, open picks, open jams, that kind of world.
Oh, absolutely. I was talking to a very good friend of ours, and since I haven't announced it yet, she shall remain nameless, but we were talking about doing a songwriter in the round as soon as next week. So hopefully we can get that going, and it might be songwriter in the round every other week, and then a like bluegrass pick every other week. We're trying to figure it out. One of the other ideas we had was kind of a more curated pick, doing one of those things where we've got, 8 or 10 people on the call sheet. We put together a band each week. And so it's, kind of mix and match, but great players. Nothing formal. They're playing super trad stuff, but really make something cool happen. Get to see different people mixing it up.
I love that idea, Eric. It reminds me of the old school Netherland acid jazz that Michigan Mike used to put together at the Pioneer Inn. Of course, it might not be acid jazz. It might just be progressive bluegrass, and who knows.
Man, I'll do acid jazz. I've gotten like 3 people ask me about prog rock. I'm up for whatever. People want to come play music. I'm not going to stop them.
Yeah, man, you're a beacon. You're a beacon of light for this springtime of our humanity in the music industry out here on the Front Range. So,
well, it's funny. I was listening to a White House press conference of all things. And they were talking about trying to make this the Roaring 20s again. They were comparing it to the 1920s after World War I and an influenza pandemic. The country kind of went off and had a good time. But what nobody's talking about is the foundation of American music also happened in that same decade. You're talking about some of the greatest jazz and swing bands got their very infancy going. The stuff we think of from the 40s and 50s. Those guys were in middle school and elementary school during the 20s, and that's when they learned their craft. And
wow.
I mean, I can't wait to see what happens to music in the United States in the next 10, 15 years, because I think this decade is going to just be this just absolute spark into a wildfire into everything. I'm absolutely stoked.
I love that perspective. When I think about the 1920s, I also think about the flappers, the people on the flag.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool to see that again?
Yeah, I'm down for a 20s party. We can do that. We'll do it this fall. We'll just, costume required. Yeah.
That's actually a great idea. I would love to have a 1920s party, and then.
Well, do you want to start? If you start a swing band, I will book it. How's that sound?
Yeah, I will find the best swing band in Colorado, and we'll make something happen.
No, you need to start the best swing band in Colorado.
Well, I guess I'll give Greg Shockett a call, and yeah.
All right, Greg, Dango coming at you on your cell phone.
Right here, right now, isn't he?
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm stoked about what the music scene is doing. And I was talking to a good friend of ours the other day, and she was telling me that she's got band rehearsal every night this week. She just quit her job at a coffee shop, and she's got gigs every night this weekend. I was like, yes, that is exactly what we need to be doing right now. I'm so glad people are playing again. They're together again. Music is happening. It's good for the soul. It's good for everybody.
It is good for the soul. Yeah, so grateful for what you're doing down there. And for our listeners, everybody up on the Peak to Peak, it's just a short jaunt.
Yeah, come on down 7. Yeah. Come down here, hang out, play some music. Those of you that are up there that are musicians, shoot me a note on Facebook, because I'm on the hunt. So let me know if you want to come down and play. It's make it happen. I can say I haven't quite announced yet because we're locking in some timing, but we've got a couple bands from up in that neck of the woods coming down next weekend. It'll be the first weekend of June to come play. Everything from a little bit of, I don't know how to describe it, aggressive Celtic. I've been talking to the Half Pelican crew about doing some metal Pelican down here.
Nice.
And got some other folks coming down on Friday night. So it should be, as much as the Boulder scene is great and there's some awesome bands, Fox Feather and stuff coming out of Longmont, everything west of us is amazing too. So we're going to try and pull down as much as we're pulling from the flatlands.
We're all connected on this Peak to Peak highway region, and then down to Lyons, up to Estes Park, all the way to Boulder, all the way back up to Netherland, Gold Hill. So, the more we come together more right now, the better it is for our humanity and for our culture. So that goes back to the musicians. All the musicians, hit up Eric Kean. He's ready. He's making this happen down at Lions over at Main Stage, and let's join the party.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
One more quick thing. I guess I forgot to ask you about the kitchen and the beer.
Yeah.
Can you tell us briefly about the kitchen and the beer you got going?
Yes, we have a kitchen and beer.
Exactly.
No, we've got So we're working on getting up and running with our own brewery here. We've got some construction, we're doing stuff, but we've been brewing down in Denver a little bit, so we should have some of our own beers on here the next week or so. In the meantime, we put together a draft list. So Sam, my business partner, works at Upslope. He's the head brewer there for about 11 years. And I was a left hand for a couple of years. So we just went around to all of our friends and asked them for pretty much all of our favorite beers. And they run the gambit from hard seltzers and super fruity things to some super gnarly IPAs, milk stout from Left Hand, Sawtooth. Pretty wide variety, trying to do this something for everyone kind of thing. Can't promise, but we're super proud of the quality for sure. Every beer is top notch. So we're going to be running with that most of the summer, plus a couple of our own here and there. And then we'll get up and brew in this fall and switch over to all of our own beer. We also are very proud to host Kinfolk Pizza Plus Chicken. For those of you on the Peak to Peak Highway, that is an homage to our wonderful friends in Yonder. Henry, who owns that kitchen, is a huge Yonder fan, but also just phenomenal chef. He worked at Left Hand for a long time as a brewer, so his palate is incredible. And he is making just the sickest thin crust New York style pizza. We love Rosalie's and Antonio's up in Estes, but I don't know. I got faith in Henry. I think it's better. And then he's also doing some awesome crispy chicken, some wings. So yeah, come on down. We've got some non-alcoholic options. We got salads. We got all this stuff. So no matter who you are, we'll try and find something for you. And if that doesn't work, there will still be a good band on and you can enjoy yourself anyway.
Awesome, Eric. Eric Kean over at Main Stage Brewing down in Lyons. Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you real soon down at your establishment to listen to some great tunes on the patio.
Well, thanks. Cheers. Stay safe.
All right, everyone. This is Dango Rose with the Everyone's Listening podcast. We'll hear you real soon.
Thank you, Dango and Eric, for the insight, stories, and news on what's coming.
Brightwood Music in Netherlands will restring and repair your favorite stringed instrument. Brightwood Music also carries many lines of your favorite mandolins, violins, guitars, cellos, mountain dulcimers, basses, and bouzouki's. Brightwood Music is family owned and operated. It's a Netherlands staple and has been for more than a decade. They are located at 20 East Lakeview Drive, Unit 109 in Netherlands, and can be reached at 303-258-8863. Find them on Facebook at Brightwood Music.
For our final story today, we'll talk to Stephen Cowan, whose company came from big ideas about small plants.
Hi, my name is Stephen Cowan, and I'm the founder of Beyond Microgreens. So Beyond Microgreens is the only shelf-stable microgreens product in the U.S. today, and the inspiration for this company came from learning more about farming. Vegetable farming has been a mass-produced experiment. Our soils are depleted of nutrients, and so are our vegetables. And even though we're eating what looks like fruits and vegetables, we're not getting the same benefits that our grandparents got. So you'd have to eat about 4 times as many vegetables today to match the nutrients found in vegetables in the 1940s. So through innovation, we can reverse that. And so what I like to say is, what if I told you you could double your vegetable intake without changing your routine and no cooking necessary? 1 teaspoon of our microgreens has about the equivalent benefit to a whole head of broccoli. So this is pretty groundbreaking stuff.
So how did all this get started, though?
2 years ago, I was at the height of my 10-year career in enterprise software sales, but I was hungry to make an impact on the world. So I started this company to help people fill the nutrient gaps in their diet and be the best versions of themselves. It's focused on helping heal people and the planet. We do this by creating truly delicious and nutritious products while using organic, whole food, plant-based ingredients and eco-friendly packaging. We started this as a microgreens farm out in Dillon, Colorado. And at that time in 2018, we were the only hydroponic farm out in the mountains. We were servicing the resorts and restaurants and farmers market. And I started playing around and dehydrating microgreens. Now we freeze dry them and mixing those microgreens into different products, and the tea became popular. And so micro tea was born, Beyond Microgreens' first product line. And in November of 2018, I moved to Boulder, to basically the Silicon Valley of the natural products industry, to start this new venture of being in the natural product space. Create products using 100% Colorado grown and freeze dried microgreens that we mix into teas and seasonings today. We grow our own microgreens as well as support a number of Colorado farmers that supply us with microgreens as well. We do not supply any fresh microgreens, although that could change in the future, but we are a 100% freeze-dried microgreens product company today.
We had to ask where to find out more online as well.
At beyondmicrogreens.com. Use code FREESHIP for free shipping. That's beyondmicrogreens.com. We're also on Amazon Prime, but it's less expensive on our website, and we offer subscription options as well. Potential customers is that we are rooted in nature and backed in science with third-party lab testing. So all of our products are lab tested for vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and unique antioxidants. We use broccoli microgreens 100% today because of a unique antioxidant called sulforaphane. And that antioxidant is the most potent antioxidant that we're aware of. It activates different pathways in the body to allow the body to start producing its own antioxidants. And antioxidants are really important because they counteract free radicals. And free radicals come in from stress, pollution, technology, and just like working the body really hard. Like athletes have a lot of free radicals in them, and free radicals are what cause us to get sick and start to fall apart and even get cancer and die. So when one antioxidant is paired with one free radical, they both just disappear. And the body can produce its own antioxidants to the tune of millions per minute. And our product helps to turn on those pathways, turn on those internal machines within us that can counteract those free radicals. So that's why we're using microgreens, because it's very potent antioxidants in it, and it's 1/10 the amount of resources to grow them. 1/10 the amount of water, electricity, time, energy, and
we even asked about some future plans and a little bit more on his knowledge of microgreens.
Yeah, we have experimented with a number of different microgreens, and through lab testing, we have decided that broccoli is the most potent of all the microgreens. Now, microgreens are just a phase in the plant's life. And it's when it's about 10 to 14 days old. Sprouts are phase 1, about 2 to 4 days old. That microgreen's phase 2. And that's when it goes through photosynthesis, there's photonutrients, there's chlorophyll, and pretty much every plant goes through a microgreens phase. I don't know if every plant is edible at that phase, yet they all go through that phase. And all those vitamins, minerals, nutrients are really like the gears of the plant. They're what help the plant to grow. And the adult version of, say, the broccoli is mainly just fiber and water. All the nutrients and good stuff that are in it are just spread out to the larger plant. It's most concentrated in that microgreens phase. So we have played with a variety of other microgreens, and we will be releasing more flavors and more types of microgreens in the future. And today it is 100% broccoli. Now, being friends with many microgreens farmers, I know in terms of if you're looking to grow microgreens yourself at home, the most popular ones are pea shoots, radish, broccoli, kale. Those are like the sunflower. Those are like the top 5 most popular microgreens that microgreens farmers sell fresh, that we were selling fresh. In terms of our products, though, it's a 100% organic, and we use only broccoli microgreens today and are actively working on expanding that into more microgreens.
Thank you, Stephen. And we look forward to the future possibilities of what these powerful, nutritious, and young plants can do.
And that's all for this week's episode of the Mountaineer Podcast. All editions of the Mountaineer Podcast are available on our website at www.themountaineer.com.
Pick up this week's edition of the Mountaineer in print.
And go online to themountaineer.com to catch up on more local news. I'm Art DeVitalis.
And I'm Cynthia Davis. Until next time, thank you for listening.
And that's it for our show. Subscribe online to get more access to more news, weekly updates to our community calendar, and a link to our YouTube channel by visiting themountaineer.com. Be sure to use the coupon code PODCAST when subscribing for a 10% discount, only available to our listeners. If you are in the local Peak to Peak area, be sure to pick up a print edition of The Mountaineer at a local business. I'm Dango Rose. Thank you for listening.